Hey guys, it's Jim here, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing from a guitarist perspective my new Fender American Professional 2 Pbass. Now on Friday's video when I unboxed this bass and saw it for the first time, I kind of already went over my reasoning as to why I purchased this bass, so I'm going to spare you from repeating myself. However, I do want to establish, I do not consider myself a great bassist. I don't even consider myself a decent bassist. I play bass when the situation calls for it, and the last two albums that I've worked on when we've been in the recording studio itself doing tracking, I'm the one that had to step up and track the bass parts. But with all that being said, the first thing I noticed, the neck itself is very, very comfortable. It's much thinner at the top where it meets the actual nut than I would have anticipated it would have been. It's very comfortable. Now with that being said, as you travel down the neck, it does seem to beef up a little bit. It kind of reminds me of a Gibson, like a 50s style neck. And while obviously it's expected, it's going to feel different than a guitar, this feels very comfortable, and not every bass that I have played does feel as comfortable as this one, which makes the transition from picking up a guitar like my Telecaster to playing the Pbass pretty easy and very manageable. Now the last thing I'm going to say about the neck is, one thing I look for on guitars that also applies to the bass, I want to make sure that it's smooth on the fret ends, and this was finished perfectly. There's absolutely no sharp spots. It's a dream to play, very comfortable. But moving on from the neck, we go into the body, the electronics, and the hardware. I don't need to say much about the finish. This is gorgeous. I love this color Miami blue. The bridge and the tuners and the nut work so well together. I don't use a pick, so I don't play super hard, but this bass, even through hours and hours and hours of my first usage here, no problem staying in tune. It's fantastic and it's reliable. Now in the first clip I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to roll the tone knob back just a little bit, but you're going to see how big of a difference it makes. The warmth of the guitar really comes through, it kind of mellows out a lot. Then I'm going to play the same riff again with the tone knob maxed out. You're going to hear all that bite, that bark, that aggressiveness that I've come to love from P-basses. I included that clip because I really wanted to show you how good the electronics are in this guitar. And I know it's sad to say, but sometimes when you're getting an import guitar, even if it's $1,000 new or bass, the tone knob might not function as well. It might go kind of all or nothing. There's a lot of play and a lot of space in this one as far as tonal usage, which is a good thing. Now in this last demonstration here, I'm going to be playing along with the track that I did myself, the drums and the guitars, at Capricorn Studios in San Diego, California. None of it's mixed, it's all raw, but I just kind of wanted to see where it would sit amongst the context of the other two instruments. Now if you're a guitar player that normally follows my channel, you would know I recommend that you should pick up a bass anyways. Even if it's not a Fender American Professional 2, even if it's not a Fender, it doesn't really matter what it is, for two reasons. First of all, it can actually help with your writing. It can kind of make things basic again. You sit down with the bass, you're not going to play the same riffs that you always say when you sit down and you play the guitar. The other thing is, when you're in a studio environment, you never know what's going to happen. What if you already paid for all the days, you can't get a refund, the bassist can't show up for whatever reason or something happens and somebody's got to lay it down? Why not be you? You already know how to play it on the guitar, adapt it to the bass, go from there. But the more skills that you have, the better it is. From piano, bass, drums, guitar, whatever. If find yourself a lot more useful in a recording studio the more that you can pull off, obviously. So before I wrap this up, I just want to say I'm extremely happy that my wife pushed me to purchase this for myself. I love it. I've spent more time this weekend playing the bass than I have probably in the last 2 years combined. It's just a pleasure to play. It's gorgeous. It's easy. It sounds great. I love it. I would definitely recommend one of these guys. If you enjoyed this today, please leave me a like. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment. If you're a guitar player that plays bass, what kind of bass do you have? I'm interested to know these kinds of things. And if you're a bassist watching this, how wrong was I on the majority of this information? Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow for another guitar-related video. Take care.